Hey.
Hey everybody, this is Real Talk with Jayson Dixon. I'm back once again on NWCLV.FM radio, and I got some great guests in the house. When y'all hear what they do, man, I'm just happy for them to be there. Aston, I'm grateful for you to be here today. Miss Shay, I'm grateful that you're here today to join with us. But I want my listeners and my followers and my people on social media to know who you guys are. So Aston, we're going to start with you, man. Tell us about your business and what you do, all right?
Alrighty, so Aston, obviously, with the Let's Win Network, pretty much it's real simple. I do everything in life but give up, right?
Hey, that's simple.
I believe there's a new generation of giants coming, and providing those resources, connecting the dots.
Okay.
That's pretty much what I do.
Basic middleman, right?
You know it.
So Shay, let's talk about you. What's your business and what do you do?
Well, my business is SJP Consulting Me, and it's pretty much virtual assistants, doing the admin and starting up the businesses. Like, no one wants to do admin work, so
Right.
I'm here to assist you.
Hey, I heard that because I don't like it either. I got a whole team, so I'm with you on that one. So Aston, I met you at the fight, one of the biggest events here. I want you to tell me about your business and how you came up with it and what made you want to get into it, and some of the successes that you have done. Because I've been to a lot of events, but some of the things you've done, and I liked it. Like, it was like amazing to me, and I've been doing this for a while, so to amaze me is awesome. To get me to come out, as my followers know, to get me to come out, that's a great thing. But
Yeah.
Tell me some of the stuff that you've done and how did you get here?
So, funny thing is, Let's Win was actually a slogan. So, growing up, my big cousin, Toby Wright, Hall of Fame safety for the Rams.
Yep.
Every time we run and every time we train, he tell me, win the day. Let's win, right?
Yep.
Let's win, cuz. So, to take that mantra all the way through college, all the way back to real life, I told myself, why not just start a brand, right? So, it started off as a clothing brand. After having the clothing brand for a while, I was like, you know what? I don't want to start another business. I'm going to continue to grow this one.
Right.
So I started inquiring on motivational speaking. I was going to all the kids, the teams in my community, right? Because at the end of the day, you just need a stage.
Yep.
I don't care if it's one person or 10 people. At the end of the day, you just got to touch that one person.
I agree with you.
After I touched every person in my community, I started auditioning and volunteering to speak to churches,
Okay.
right? After I started learning how to speak, I became a sales manager. And I Let's Win that out as well. So that kind of goes right into how this whole journey started.
Okay.
I worked for a company for 5 years. First day I told them I'm going to run this one day, right?
Right.
The first day, that's me. It can happen day one or it can happen one day, right? So after knowing my value, I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Every day, all a job is a place where you show up,
Yep.
right? So what happened when you work and show up every single day?
You succeed.
90 days ago, I jumped out on faith, but I knew, right? I didn't jump out on faith without the intentions.
Right.
I knew, and Ashton, if you apply yourself for 90 days, what could be possible? I did a Juneteenth tournament.
Okay.
Brought everybody from my community out. 2 weeks later, I set my eyes on this show. I told myself, look, I want to make history. Nobody's ever brought two people together, right, for the same thing, and I didn't do it for the money. I didn't do it for the clout.
Right.
I did it to show the world it's possible.
Right. I'm with you.
A lot of times, especially our generation and our culture, we want to focus on the biggest person in the room, right?
Yep.
But sometimes it's not about the biggest person in the room, it's the person that stands behind it.
Yep.
So my goal was to create something so valuable to where people had to say who did it.
And that's the thing I like about you, because I'm that person. I'm not the biggest person in no room, and I don't mind it. And to have that mentality, I tell everybody, so one of the things that I talk about a lot is quit trying to be the CEO. The CEO is interchangeable, right? The CEO can be gone tomorrow, but the company will still stand. It does not matter. We see it every day. So I'm kind of like you in that sense of, and that's what I think I really liked about you the first night that we talked, when you said things like that. Like, I think I just stood and listened a lot, but you kind of caught my attention because I hear things that most people won't catch.
Yeah.
With that, and you making the move in the 90 days, what were some of the tactics that you took from working? Because I do tell people, hey, if you ain't never had a job, you can't start a business. I don't care what you say or how you do it, because there are disciplines there. What are some of the disciplines you walked away with?
Man, I always refer to it as my toolbox, right? Hey, every day I'm going to pick up a couple tools, even if I don't got to use it.
Yeah.
So the number one thing was, like I say, intentions. I have intentions to win.
Yep.
Right? You got to set a goal in anything you do in life, whether it's sales, whether it's anything. So the first thing I did was set a goal. But I set that goal 10 times bigger than what I truly expected myself to do.
Right.
Right? The next thing I did is articulate my words. Make sure that I'm not just sitting here talking about something. I got a plan, right?
Yep.
What is the purpose? What is the message I'm trying to share, right? Because I know I'm in here no. And the last thing I did was take everything in my life and not take it personal, right?
Ooh.
Only thing I had to learn how to do is forgive myself for what I didn't have, not take anything personal,
Yep.
right? That's why I break it down, man. They say, what's let's win? It's no cockiness, it's confidence. Let's is just an invitation. Win is the decision we make on our own.
Together.
So
Or on our
I
own.
took everything. I took that grit. I took that hunger. I took my failures. I learned how to take my L's. If you take 2 L's, right,
Right.
put them together.
It's a W.
Come on, man.
I say it all the time. So, Miss Shay, let's get to you.
Yes.
Tell me about the business. How did you come up with it? What made you want to get into it? Tell us a little bit about your history.
Well, so I started at 8 years old. My grandma bought me a typewriter, and I always wanted to like play school and like play office, And then I just started to learn how to type, and from there I loved typing. And then in high school, my mom was like, "Oh, you're taking a computer class." I was like, "I don't want to take a computer class." So I took the computer class and I loved it.
Best
And
thing
then
ever.
I learned Word and Excel.
Okay.
And I didn't know that I was gonna need that. Like I didn't know I was gonna need Word and Excel.
I could have used you last month.
So
My statistics class was hell.
yes. So then when I was like 15, my uncle would like have me like organize like his phone numbers. He would have like meet people and network and like have phone numbers on like napkins and like papers, and like he just put them all in front of me and told me to organize it. And so I used that Excel,
Yep.
made a spreadsheet, and then he came back, he was like, "You did this?" And I was like, "Yeah." So from there I started to like love to organize people's like contacts. I started
So
out
she just
small.
came in like, I just want to organize.
Yeah.
Let me help you out.
So and then I started so then I moved to Vegas when I was like 21. I
Okay.
moved to Vegas and I started working with Phase One Sports.
Yep.
And I was his personal assistant, Mike Waters. I was
Yep.
his personal assistant. And then from there I was like, oh, I could like start a business doing this. So I started getting clients, like a few clients, like not a lot. And one of my clients helped me actually name my business, because I started out with Elite Errand Works, where I would just like run errands for you and like,
Right.
you know.
So you built multiple
Yeah.
companies.
And then
She was
so
like, I'm not building one. Let me be
but I
this.
did, but I did more than just like run errands. So the guy that I was working with, he was like, you should change it to like something consulting, and then he put my initials with it, and I just ran with that name.
Like, I got you.
And yeah, and
Hey,
so
and I think we all come to that conclusion because, like you said, your uncle gave you your name. My brother gave me the name of my company.
yeah,
Like, he called me and he was like, look, you pray every day and this is what you believe and I think you should do this. And at time in 2009, if you remember, it was always pray until something happens. And I was like, nah, I don't want to use that because that's somebody else's. And he was like, nah, I want you to change pray into promote. And I was like, wow. So when someone gives you that, like, how did you feel? Like, hey, you gave me an idea. Now I got to organize it, right?
well, especially when he was like, what are your initials? And I was like, SJP. He was like, ooh, SJP consulting. And I was like, oh, and it just sounded really good because I was consulting more than just running errands. I was like helping them, create spreadsheets and
Right.
the admin side of it.
Cool. Well, you guys got a lot of stories, like a lot of work, man. Like for me to meet y'all, I was blessed. I told them after we left that night from the fight, I was really like, hey, I thank y'all for having me come out because I really don't. Like, I am so much behind the computer. Like, an event to me is like, hey, if I'm not making money with you, I'm not going. Like, I'm just real with you. Unless you're somebody that I'm working with already, then I'm coming because it's an honor of you, right?
Yeah.
So when you're in those type of situations, like, how do you pick your partners? How do you pick the people you guys work with? I know how my process is, but how do you pick who you want to do an event with, Ashton? How do you pick, like, hey, I can sit down with you and we can make money together? How do you determine?
Man, it's so funny you say that because I had the pleasure. I actually asked that same question to a gentleman named Mars.
Mm-hmm.
He's our partner with Paramount Studios. But my genuine answer is always personnel, you know?
Right.
Every single person can't be a Michael Jordan. Every single person can't be a Kobe Bryant. So I look for personnel,
Mm-hmm.
right? After my personnel, I look for people that understand a common goal. Because we can all want to win, right? But if it's 3 seconds left in the game and we all want to shoot the ball, right?
We're going to fail.
We're going to fail. And then the last thing is just pure intentions.
Okay.
I don't look for people that want to help. I look for people that need the help, right?
That's awesome.
And I do that because I'm done with, like I say, it's a new generation of giants, right?
Yeah.
Instead of going to the person that has it, I'd rather go to somebody that sees the value
Let's
in
create
it and is willing to run.
I'm with you on that one. I'm that same way. I'm built off of let's create it. I'd rather sit down with you, come up with something from scratch, and say, bet, if you put your time, if you give me your services, I'm with you on that one all the way. Like that's how
the
we
same
build.
with me. I think like if I'm just around some busy people and they're talking about something that they need help with, I'm like, oh, I could help you with that. That's how I normally get my clients.
And I try to express people that have you guys ever run across somebody that I try to tell these newcomers, like, stop talking money.
Mm-hmm.
People who have money don't talk money.
You know how many websites I've done for free? Like,
Hey, you know how many companies I built in my first year? So maybe you guys have come across it. If so, speak on it. But in my first year, I built 37 businesses for free, and everybody thought I was crazy. And they were like, why? Why would you go help them? And I'm like, if I'm building something for you for free, I got an agenda on the other side.
Yes.
Understand that. Nothing's ever free, right?
Yeah.
It's always a purpose. So how do you guys overcome things like that? Because I know free sometimes can frustrate you, especially if you build something and that person starts making money and you haven't made a dime. So how do you deal with that?
I'll go first. So for me, like, it never ends up being free though, because like, for instance, I helped build a hookah lounge in Texas, and I met the guy in Walmart, and he was like, hey, I'm opening up a bar and I want you to be the waitress. And I was like, I'm so much more than a waitress. Like, and so I asked him, like, we met, and then I asked him, I was like, do you have a website yet? And he said no. So I built it in one night. Like, I surprised him with it the next day, and he was just like, wait, and he just cashed out me $500, like, right there. So I did it for free, but then
The reward
yeah,
came
the
later.
reward came later. But he was just like, you deserve this, you know?
Yeah.
No, and similar to what she said, it's a quote we actually got from a movie. Like, if they don't see the value, then they don't want to pay, right? But that's an opportunity for me to acknowledge, one, I'm being underestimated, right?
Yeah.
So all I got to do is over what's expected,
Yep.
right? So to piggyback on that, I do everything for free. When people ask me what's the price, I tell them don't worry about that. Send me over and this is like an audition for me.
Right.
I'm gonna put it on the table to where I can confidently walk off, and she can attest. My phone gonna ring in the next 30 minutes, or I wouldn't have done it.
I'm with you. So I agree with you on that, on both you guys, because I've done so much to where I'm like, I jumped in. I got a restaurant in the Raider Stadium right now because I jumped in and helped somebody who was in need, and he kept trying to say, let me pay you. And I was like, no, I just want to show you that this can happen. We put a full catfish restaurant in a mall. When everybody was like, you can't put this in a mall. Nobody's going to wait 15 minutes for fresh food. They're not going to wait for gumbo to be made. They're not waiting on that. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I jumped in and built the operation side with nothing. Just came in, let me hire your employees. Let me build this. Let me show you how this should be run. All I need you to do is cook.
Yeah.
And I walked around the mall with fish in little cups, like samples, around the whole mall. Like, try it. Came back, it was all packed. Then I turned around and called the Universal Circus, owned by Mr. Bob Johnson, said, hey, you're in Houston. I don't want to have to pay for you to go to Louisiana. So in the midst of you trying to transfer from Houston to Louisiana, I need you to come up to Dallas, and I'll have the money waiting for you, and this is what I need. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
everything is about the network you make, but I love it. So I'm going to ask you this question. I love doing it because it all comes back as word of mouth. I'm going to make my money because they're going to tell people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
They think of you. You're the first person they think of. Yeah.
It's the value of being in rooms you're not standing in.
Right. Okay. Hey, I agree with you. So, guys, we're going to come back with these guys. I love this conversation. Y'all know I'm everything business, but I also like talking to great people that understand the value of people. So we're going to take a small break right here, and then we'll be right back. Mr. Cap, take us out of here.
You are tuned into NWCLB.FM. Don't touch that dial.
All right. So this is just a chance for us to clear, for you to breathe easy.
Good job.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
So I hope I'm asking questions, as you can see, to
Yeah.
build up and so that people would know your history and what you do.
Yeah.
So as we get into this next section is when you get into everything, because I want to know this is where it's going to be.
That's that heartfelt.
Yeah. This is where people are going to really buy into your brand. Like, people think that just because you put something up and you put it out that people are just going to jump, but people really buy into you before. And I like what you said, because I talk about when I help people build logos, I'm like, they'll come and say, well, I want my logo to look like this and this. And I'll be like, bro, let me build it and I'm going to show you. And they're like, why? I said, because the way you're talking is a t-shirt design. The way I'm talking is it's going to walk in the room and people are going to call you, because I don't like to build stuff that is brand related or tells your color right off the muscle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they should know you're black. Like, my logo goes into every room before me, and then when they see that I'm a black CEO that's been in business since 2009, they're like, and I'm like, well, I got other consultants who work for me, so I help converge their brands too. So that's one of the biggest things.
That's
with me.
what happened with me with my meal prep company. I had a meal prep company in Florida, and nobody, when they found out who the owner was, they were like, "You're the owner," because it was like all white people, and they're like, "You're the owner of this meal prep company," and they're like, "Yeah," because it started to get a big buzz.
Sorry, don't get me on yet, bro. Don't go yet, because somebody's calling me. I think this is the DJ. Yes, sir. Huh? No, what's going on? Hey, I'm doing an interview right now. I'm gonna hit you back. That's why I'm gonna go. All right, I'm gonna hit you back. All right.
You showed me how it's done. I've been trying to learn how to get people off the phone. I'm like, yeah, I get you. Let me call you back.
No,
No, hold on. I'm like, bro, how you gonna tell me to hold on and I'm busy?
I'm telling you, I'm busy. Yeah. Like, stop. And you see, he kept trying to go. I'm like,
Yeah. That's when.
Because I wouldn't normally answer, but he's messing up what we normally do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
I got people like they think I'm always in front of my computer.
Yeah.
Hey man, pull this up, bro. I'm driving. It ain't gonna take you long. You got your phone, man. Hold up, dog. Like, I'm not gonna do all that while I'm driving, bro.
Yeah. As y'all get to know me, I'm straightforward.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I love our team that we built, because everybody, we talk real to each other.
Yeah.
Just before you start, he checked somebody in a situation the other day, and then I was kind of trying to take up for the person, because I'm kind of like, okay, well, da-da-da, and the next day he came to me and he told me what I did wrong, and I was like, well, I don't know, and then I had to think about it, like, that's a real business partner and friend to tell you, like, hey, let me handle this when you hear me do it, and I'm like, I know I have the ability to jump in, because I'm a protectful person, so I'm always like, hold on, bro. So he was like, let me handle it. And then the person called me trying to talk about the situation, and I said, hold on, bro. My bro was right. Put this in your situation. What if we would have came to your establishment and did what you told us not to do?
Yeah.
And I tell Cap, like, I'm blessed with the team that I got across the country, because we can cuss each other out, we can yell at each other, we can fight each other. But the next day, Cap called me like, hey, I got business. You ready?
Yeah. It's like
That's done. Like let's do what we do.
Yeah, come on, man.
And I'm like, if you don't have a team like that, you fail.
you preach that all the time.
Every day I tell them, look, I don't care what we say today. It's not how I'm saying it. It's what I'm saying.
And most people are too emotional, right?
Get it, then we move on. If you don't, then that's the problem.
But also, it's how you say it too. Like, you don't have to be rude and disrespectful to get your point. To get your point across.
Yeah,
That's
who we are, though.
Hey,
I can say.
Think that they might even have an inkling of like, I'm gonna try this again.
Yeah.
No, like I'm looking at you dead in your eyes, boy.
Yeah.
Now you listen to me or you don't. Like you listen to me, you still good. You don't, you out of there.
Yeah.
So and sometimes, yeah, I personally have to be like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like I can't let this dude think I'm soft. Because I told you already.
I just asked the
Did it
right
again.
questions. Like I just asked the right questions.
I
to
just
make them
slap people.
Put something on
Some
paper.
situations we might have to. I'll be like, Asher, man, you can call Shay, man. I need somebody to go in there diplomatically clear this up. Because if I go in there, man, I'm hot. I'm sweating.
Yeah, see, I'm the diplomatic one in my whole crew because I'm the
Yeah.
one that be like, okay, so let's get this understood.
Also,
But I'm also-
side, so if
I'm
it-
also that side that
No.
I meant it when I said I'll slap you first.
You know what I'm saying? So, we gotta go to Shay. Okay. Like, it might even put Jayson over the edge, man. So we need a real different.
Yeah, I'll slap you. I'll slap you first. I've done it. So I
I'll
don't
choke.
care.
I'll choke first. I'm straight
Hey, I'd have been put out of plenty of business meetings.
That's what I be telling her.
All right.
Rich, I'm gonna call you back. I'm finishing up an interview, but
So
I got
what
those
is the
players
next
ready to
question
get locked
gonna
in.
be?
I'm
I
just
can't
finishing
tell
it.
you because then you're gonna prepare for it,
Okay.
and I need real.
It ain't nothing you don't know, though.
Yeah, it ain't
It's
nothing you
all
don't know.
organic.
On your countdown, Cap, we ready?
You tuned in to NWCLV.FM. It's DJ King Cobra. I move slick, strike quick, hit you once, and it's over. Right now, you with Jayson Dixon, man. Real talk with Jayson Dixon. And we got Shay and Aston in the studio. Jayson, take it away.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for coming back and tuning in with us. As y'all saw before, I still got my same two guests. I'm highly honored and favored for them to be here on Real Talk with Jayson Dixon. Now we about to get into some real talk. You know, I talk about the great stuff. I talk about what you guys are succeeding on. But the thing that I really want to know and what my listeners want to know, because I build this show, guys, to motivate that person that's in the rut that we probably got in before. The rut of how do I get over this hump? And when I fail, like you said, when I lose and I take that L, how do I keep saying, okay, I'm willing to take another one? But sometimes with me, my L took a lot. And I had to like really say, okay, hold on. How do you, when you take those L's and you take those things, how do you overcome it? What made you or gave you the strength to say, I can get up from this and motivate somebody else that you talk to? Because you're a motivational speaker, so they're looking for you, looking at you to say, how can I get over it? And Shay, from your point of view, whatever L's you have taken, how do you overcome it as well? And what have been some of the pains you have? Like, give me detail. I need detail.
Come on. Come
Like
on.
I'm like really thinking. One I think for me is communication. You know, like if I took a L on something, I try to fix it. I try to fix it first, and like if I can't, then I'll just move on and do better the next time.
Okay.
You know, learn from it.
So you don't really beat yourself up about it, or you just like, hey, I tried to talk it out, I'm good, I'm gone.
I talk it out with myself, and then I just don't do it again ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me,
I know
yeah, no, you know, I'm gonna be honest. For me, I believe it's all perspective,
Okay.
right? I think the best thing for me in life was learning at an early age.
Okay.
So, anybody that know me, I grew up in South Phoenix, Arizona, where we don't got much. You hear me?
I know.
My mom addicted to crack cocaine. My daddy was your local doughboy. But it was my grandma who always stuck out to me. Like, when people see this lady, you know, when you don't ever know who you're looking at, you know?
Right.
So this lady was a lady who got tired of seeing her grandbabies getting drugged through the mud,
Right.
hanging out in dope houses. We them kids that
Yeah.
we don't even know why the police outside, but we know it's something referring to us. So my granny took us from South Phoenix, moved us all the way to North Phoenix, where all we did was hang out with white boys and, you know, stuff like that. But I'm like, I was uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right? So watching how my grandma fought as a young kid, like, we want to grow up and be like our daddies. We want to grow up and be like our big homies. I was like, you know what? This lady ain't going to do all this and not get nothing. So the way that I deal with my L's is I don't accept it,
That's what's
right?
up.
I'll take it as a lesson. I'll learn something from it, but the next day I'm going to try it again. Next day I'm going to try it again. Next day I'm going to try it again. Me, it's 10 times,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
If I shoot a free throw and I miss, that's okay, but I guarantee by the time I shoot that 10 shot, it's going in,
It's going in.
right?
And that's a great concept to have. If you guys don't have a motive like that, you need to develop that, because that's great. Because I know you do similar to what I do in some aspects, and so I know like a lot of what we do is dependent on other people doing their part and their role. So how do you adjust for that when you have to take an L because of somebody else's failure, not because of what you do? But it's not always as easy as going and talking to them about it, because they may not understand where they lost.
To be honest, questions. The biggest thing I learned is if something didn't work, it's a reason why, right? So I take a look at what happened, and before I take it back to that person to make them feel uncomfortable or make it a personal issue, I'm going to go ask questions and gain the knowledge.
Okay.
Knowledge is power and advice is free.
So it might have been something they didn't even do and they didn't know they did. Yeah.
Right? But once we can have that mutual understanding, once I say, hey, you understand right here, this is where we went wrong.
Right.
I'm never going to blame you. I'm never going to blame you. I take accountability for everything that I'm attached to.
Okay.
Right?
What about you, Shay? Like, how do you handle that? A scenario like that?
Like I said before, I take accountability and I try to fix it as best I can. Like, and I've come across situations where I had a client and I was going through a lot and I dropped the ball on something, but I found a way to fix it. And then when I was on the phone with her, she was just like cussing me out, and I was like, please, can you just listen? Like, and she I was like, can you calm down? And she wouldn't calm down. I'm like, I'm trying to fix this, but if you don't let me like put it in place, then like how am I supposed to win at that point, you know?
Right.
So.
And do you guys agree with me? Because I've taken plenty of L's. Like, personally, as you're building your business, just give you guys a little bit about me. I went through homelessness building my business. I've lost $92,000 and like, oh man, I lost my home, I lost my car, like, but I still got to do my business for my clients, right? So when you go through things like that, like you said, she don't want to listen, she doesn't do that. How can you help somebody else go through that and say, hey, sometimes you have, because what I tell people from when I speak is, you have to sometimes accept the L for what it is.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing you can do about it.
That's what I had to do with that.
And somebody's not going to like you. One of the biggest things I preach, and you probably preach the same thing, is stop trying to get everybody to like you. Doesn't work.
Come on.
Right? So how did y'all deal with that? Because we live in a society where everything is about likes. How do you handle that when it comes to what you do?
To be honest, it's the same concept as like we know, don't let them see you sweat, right? So like the way that I keep it is I treat everybody with the most utmost respect. That's why I don't take nothing personal. I understand that some stuff is going to work and some stuff is not. But at the end of the day, I come in just to touch that person. Right? That's all I come in to do. I'm not coming in to get a win every single time. I'm coming in to have that direct. I'm here to help you. Every single situation ain't for me to win. I give away more than I get.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
I come to the table to put you in a position to win, because if I'm around 1 million people that's winning, how can I lose?
Right. Not at all. Even if it's not money wise, just them open the doors. So Shay, something you said that really caught me when you said that when your personal life isn't going right, because I've been through a lot of that. Like trying to build this company I built, a lot of times I drop the ball because something messes up personally, and I have to go back and try to regroup. But they're not always the friendliest people when you come back, right? So how do you do that part, especially trying to live your life, trying to date, trying to be in those situations? Because let's all be real, we try to play hard, but when a relationship goes bad that you've been in for a while, it's like, oh my God. So how do you deal with stuff like that?
I just, like, I don't even really know how to answer that, because, like, if it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. You just move on.
Okay. Not in a relationship, but like, when it comes to your business.
Even business relationships as well. Like, and I feel like if they can work with me again, they'll call.
Right.
Like.
Do you work hard? Do you guys work hard to leave a good impression even when something bad happens? Because I'll tell you why I'm asking these questions, because I ran into a scenario where I built an app for a lady, and we're still working on the app, and a lady out of Dallas, and what happened was I ran across my operation manager stole $92,000 from me and left me homeless. But this lady had just put $13,000 into a escrow account for me. So I used the money because it was for our marketing anyway. So I just like, okay, let me use it, da da da. But I came back and I told her what I did. And she was, ironically, where I thought she would have been mean, she was like, well, look like I got work for free. And no problem. And gave me a percentage of the company.
Oh, wow.
To make it work. But I look at that from a diverse point of view. Think about if it was us.
But you were honest, because you could have just spent the money because you were broke. Like, you know,
Right.
you were honest with her.
So how do you think, I know you guys work with different cultures. What have you seen, and I'm saying that story to ask this question, what have you seen the difference between working with different cultures, and what would you want to see us do better?
I feel like as African Americans, we need to communicate and be punctual and actually follow through with the order or whatever your service is. Like,
Right.
follow through and actually complete it. Because I know that organization, when you don't have organization and structure in your business, it's bad.
Well, that's not here.
Yeah,
He over here like, let me tell y'all.
Yeah, 'cause no, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna get straight to the point. After dealing with cultures, all I can say is I understand it now.
Yeah.
Right? When you see a Chinese community, right?
Mhm.
Everything they do is for their people.
Yeah.
When you see a Mexican community, everything they do is for their people. Even when you see a white community, everything is for their people.
I agree.
Now let's talk about us, right? We're unfortunately the only community that won't even do it for themselves,
Come, baby, come out the sweatshirt.
right? Like if we were animals, right, and we painted every lion a different color, you'd have a pack of lions over here, you have a pack of lions over here, a pack of lions over here, and then you look at the black community
And you like,
and you see a lion,
yeah.
a lion, a lion, a lion. One, we got to be disciplined for our destination.
Yeah.
A lot of times we lose hope, right, just off of having a great idea.
So let me ask you a question. Do you feel like our culture talks too much when it comes to, because I'll tell you why I asked this question. I did what I did to her, and she could have easily jumped on social media and belittled my business and said everything. I see in my, since 2009, I work with a lot of cultures. And in those cultures, I've never seen them down talk each other outside of their culture.
Yeah.
You can be white and you might have stole money from me, but they never say it. They'll be like, hey, to each other, like, hey, you don't really want to work with him, this is what it did. But you don't see it on social media. You don't see it out. Even with the Asians, like my dad, is my uncle, I call him my uncle, but he's Vietnamese. He was my dad's law partner before he died, so I co-own a law firm. And one of the things that I hear them talk about their own culture, but within their culture.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go outside. Let them walk outside together, and he's one of the best attorneys ever.
Yeah.
No.
So how do you
They
think
stick
we
together.
fix that one? That part of the problem, because that's one of the biggest things I see, and it's just gotten worse since social media.
Togetherness, like, we need to stick together.
And that was the purpose of our event. Everyone thought it was about $1 million. No, it was 1 million people,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you had the option to buy a ticket to the Showtime fight or the after party, the decision should have been the after party.
I would have came to the after
Right.
party.
And the reason that is, who got paid when you bought a ticket to Showtime,
Showtime.
right? But who got paid when we throw our own after party?
The people. Because it was a nice event for me. I was like, dang.
What we got to start understanding is it's our leverage. We are the roots to everything in life. So when we start to grow and we get to stick and we connect all these different communities and start to bring a little of that back to our communities, we can put the hoods on skyscrapers.
Exactly.
Right.
So let's get to that event, because that's where we met, and I thought that was. I wasn't in there long. Like I said, I don't do people like that. I'm cool if you want to go meet and we can hang out and talk business, but I'm not the party type.
Yeah.
What made you guys want to do that event? And the fact that you rented out the whole venue, that was the biggest deal to me. Because that gave, and then the food was free, and like I was so shocked because you don't normally see that in our culture. Like, they're gonna charge something, and they're gonna be like, nope, I need this.
Yeah. Honestly, obviously we know Earl Spence was unable to make it, but the goal was to do something that people have never done.
Who are both fighters, winner or loser.
If when you get two fighters in the same venue at the same time, that's history.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All week, you saw the narrative was
Fight.
fight against each other. We don't get paid off that. We got to start teaching each other and the people above us. If we could walk in like this and say, "Hey, brother, how you doing
Good
today?"
fight, yeah.
Right? And we can do that all week because we already together.
Yep. And the crazy part about that is my team will tell you, so I grew up with Bud and I built Earl's gym in Dallas. So I knew both fighters. So it was like a torn fight to me. So I had to, but I was like, oh, I need the person I grew up with to win. But I feel sorry for this person over here too.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, they put two great people together with the evidence that one of them was going to lose in that one night, lose everything.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it like
Yeah.
that,
No,
but
I know.
that's how they
That's how
the
they push it.
perception.
Yeah.
That in one night, one of them was going to lose the greatness that both of them were both working for, is what I mean.
And can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
Why do you think it is that they do that?
Because that's the separation. They want us to stay separated. Trust me, bro. I grew up in Nebraska, so I know they want us to stay separated.
How about them black shirts?
That's where I went to school. Shout out.
So Toby Wright, my little cousin, plays that right now, safety,
Okay.
number 33. So stay on the lookout for him.
And that's one of the things so that's why I love the fact what you guys did do, because it brought everybody together. It was a great event. So now we're going to kind of wrap up, guys. I just want them to tell each one of you how they can find you, where they can locate you at, social media wise, your next events coming up, whatever you guys got going on. Let's get it.
You can reach me at SJP Consulting Me on my Instagram, and also my website is www.sjpconsulting.me, and you can go to my contact page and submit your information, and we can work together if you need a assistant, administrative assistant.
Listen, guys, I'm contracting her out. So if you ask my team to do it, especially in Vegas, she's gonna be the one doing the work.
Yes, thank you. Yay.
And to piggyback on that, I do have an Instagram, Let's Win Promotions, Instagram, the number 2, win the day. But if you are looking to reach me, I'm just like you. Once I met Shay, it was a no-brainer. So if you do message me, more than likely it'll be Shay. She'll be handling all the consulting, all the assistant work, booking appointments. So I'm excited to see what two people can do together and find a way to win.
Exactly.
Vamos a ganar.
So guys, I thank you guys for tuning in to Real Talk with Jayson Dixon. I thank my guests for coming out. I thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure running into you guys. It's been nothing but a blessing since I started this journey here in Vegas. And guys, this is Real Talk with Jayson Dixon on NWCLV.FM with my man Cap. Go on and take us out of here, my guy.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Talk with Jayson Dixon. You just heard from Aston and Shay. I am your boy, the Fuente Capion, aka DJ King Cobra. I move slick, strike quick, hit you once, and it's over. DJ is digital journalist, cause I don't jock nothing. You heard me? Stay tuned. NWCLV.FM all top.
Let's get it.
He said